Hello, isn't this photo refreshing to see? It's cool, right? It's more refreshing if you observe such scene in nature. Every day as the sun rises, everything in the nature started getting activated. More particularly, plants. Leaves of the plants interact with the sun. As the sun rays started falling on the leaves, started touching the leaf surfaces, then entire life processes in plants start. And plants being more associated with other living organisms are also getting activated. So plants are very essential for us. Because of the life processes in plants, we are very fortunate to have different fruits, vegetables, and every year our farmers are working so hard to produce different crops, right? And many food grains, different types of food grains are produced by farmers. And all these food grains are produced by one and only process of photosynthesis, mainly by photosynthesis. So because of the photosynthesis, we are very fortunate to have different agricultural products. Now let us understand more about photosynthesis. To understand term photosynthesis, let us split term photosynthesis into photo and synthesis. Photo here refers to sunlight, or more technically, photosynthetically active radiation, which is having wavelength of 400 to 700 nanometer, and these are visible light of sunlight. These are visible spectrum of sunlight. So photo refers to sunlight. Synthesis here refers to formation or combination of different components or constituents to form a complex structure. We know that starch is complex structure formed by different glucose, many glucose unit. Starch is a polysaccharide formed by linking of many glucose units in linear chain and in branching chain as well. So formation of starch from glucose unit by use of sunlight is called as photosynthesis, and this process is occurring in leaves of the plants. Leaves of the plants interact with the sunlight, and thereby the entire process of photosynthesis starts. And I would like to emphasize here that any term ending with SIS are processes, or these are state of being. Processes here refers to a series of steps which are occurring one after another. Now with this equation of photosynthesis, let us understand how photosynthesis occurs in green plants. Two main raw materials required for photosynthesis are carbon dioxide and water. And with the help of sunlight, there is production of glucose. And many glucose units will join together to form starch. And the byproducts are oxygen and water. And for absorbing sunlight, we require a green pigment called chlorophyll. This entire equation, or this biochemical reaction, occurs in leaves of the plants. So photosynthesis occurs, or site of photosynthesis is leaves of the plant. If you observe the leaves of the plants under microscope, then you are able to see tiny cells. Within those cells we have green colored cell organelle called chloroplast. And in the chloroplast, we have coin-like structured cell organelle which are stacked one on another to form granum, to form a pie called granum. So in the membrane of thylakoid, we have chlorophyll pigment. And chlorophyll pigment is having potential to absorb sunlight, to trap sunlight. And because of which there is breaking down of water molecules, there is combination of carbon dioxide and the broken down water molecular radicals to form glucose. Now, where do the carbon dioxide and water comes from? Carbon dioxide is usually existing in atmosphere. Carbon dioxide from atmosphere will enter through stomata, will diffuse through stomata into the leaves of the plants, and after combining with the byproducts of breaking down of water molecule, there is formation of glucose, right? So from where the water comes from, all of us know that root system of the plant absorbs water. So water gets broken down, molecule of water gets broken down into hydrogen and radicals of oxygen, and there is combination of carbon dioxide and hydrogen. Later there is formation of glucose, right? So the glucose is the main product which combine together, which joins together in linear chain, one single chain. Along with that, there is also branching chains of glucose, which forms starch. So the byproducts, oxygen, is removed whenever photosynthesis is occurring. Removal of oxygen is mainly through stomata. So oxygen diffuses out through stomata in the leaves, and this oxygen is essential for us to survive, for other living organisms to survive. We breathe in oxygen, right? We require oxygen. Without oxygen, we can't survive. So plants are humble living organism. They contribute to us oxygen. So water as a byproduct, water in the form of water vapor is lost through stomata by a process of photosynthesis, by the process of transpiration. So with this simple equation, we have understood photosynthesis, right? Now, if you are asked to explain photosynthesis on the basis of this equation, so how would you explain it? Simple. Photosynthesis doesn't occur only in plants. So we have to generalize the explanation. I would explain like this. Photosynthesis is a life process occurring in all the photosynthetic organisms, whether it be photosynthetic bacteria like blue-green algae, cyanobacteria. They are able to undergo photosynthesis. Algae, particularly green algae, chlorophyceae, algae which are included under chlorophyceae. Green plants, euglena of protista. Euglena also undergo process of photosynthesis. Likewise, we have some other living organisms which are photosynthetic and which can't survive without photosynthesis. So photosynthesis is one of the major life process by which food of the plants or photosynthesis, that is long branching chains of glucose unit, that is called as starch. So starch is formed, or photosynthesis is formed by process of photosynthesis. or photosynthase, So synthesis of photosynthase or starch or food in plant through a process of photosynthesis is called photosynthesis. And for this process to occur, sunlight is must. Sunlight is being trapped by chlorophyll pigment, which are present in chloroplast of cells in the leaves. So raw materials required for photosynthesis are water and carbon dioxide. Now with this explanation, everything is clear about photosynthesis. Without photosynthesis, there is no survival of plants, there is no survival of other photosynthetic living organism. Without them, we can't survive. So let's try to summarize the major events of photosynthesis. First, we were saying that there is absorption of photosynthetically active radiation of sunlight energy by chlorophyll, or in simple language, absorption of sunlight with the help of chlorophyll present in the chloroplast of leaves of the plant. Now, after absorption of sunlight, there is conversion of sunlight into chemical energy. So, along with that, because of the sunlight, water molecules which are present in the leaves gets broken down, gets splitted into hydrogen and oxygen. So these two processes occurs in presence of sunlight, and these are called as light reaction of photosynthesis. Now, at last, hydrogen which is produced by splitting of water combines, which helps in formation of starch using raw material carbon dioxide, which had already diffused through stomata. And finally, there is formation of starch. So formation of starch in absence of sunlight energy by reduction, by combination of carbon dioxide and hydrogen is called as dark reaction. So dark reaction doesn't occur in presence of sunlight. It doesn't mean that it is not occurring during daytime. Dark reaction do occur simultaneously with the light reaction, but during dark reaction there is no need of sunlight energy. So with this, we have understood little detail about photosynthesis. Now in the higher classes you will study in more detail. With this, you have to answer a few questions. First question is discuss the major events of photosynthesis. Second, you have to write down the equation of photosynthesis. Third, why do we consider that plants are autotrophs? Fourth, discuss the advantages of the photosynthesis in photosynthetic organisms for heterotrophs like us. Okay, so that's all for today. That's all for this video. We'll study in detail in another video about photosynthesis. So take care of your health. Stay safe. Thank you.